Hey, welcome to Greg Hurrell Reacts. I'm a Vim expert, and today I'm going to be reacting to a video of another ostensible Vim expert by the name of Greg Hurrell. So let's just dive straight in and see what this chump has to say.
Hi, it's Greg Hurrell here.
Whoa, strong start. Yeah, that music. I mean, it is one of those royalty-free things that, you know, every Tom, Dick and Harry puts on their freaking YouTube video, but that jazz, it's really got me in the mood for some Vim. So let's see what this guy has to say.
Talk about Vim again, and today I want to talk about using Vim to edit the command line. Now, one way to do that is to set your shell to actually have Vim key bindings. So I've got a shell here on the left. This is Zeesh. You can do the same thing in Bash though, and probably a bunch of other shells. But basically, in the Zeesh case at least, bind key -V is going to put the shell in.
Whoa. Like, first of all, like, what's up with this color scheme? It does look nice, but I can barely read it and the font is tiny. Like, this is amateur shit. This guy's up to screencast number 73 and he still hasn't got his freaking font and color scheme right. Anyway, I like the look of him at least. He's a good looking guy, but I mean, I'm here for the content, not for the excitement. So, yeah.
Vim mode. What does that mean? It means that when I'm at the prompt about to type a command, I can think of it as though I were in insert mode in Vim. So for example, if I type ls and hit enter, I can run the command. However, if I type some command and then hit escape, that's equivalent to popping out of insert mode and going into normal mode where Vim key bindings work. So for example, B to go back a word, W to go forward a word, D to delete a word, DB to go delete backwards, you know, etc. And then
has this guy been sniffing coke? He can't stop touching his nose. The content's pretty good so far. I mean, this is beginner stuff. I wouldn't exactly call it expert stuff. But yeah, it seems like we're in pretty useful territory, I guess, to know how to use Vim key bindings on the command line. Let's keep going.
I can use A to append to the current position, and when I hit enter, the command will run and I'll be back in insert mode again. Now, despite the fact that I love Vim and I use it all the time, I've never felt really comfortable using it on the command line in this way. And so I've preferred to use the standard, you know, Emacs style bindings, which I can get with bind key -E.
Emacs. If I wanted Emacs, do you think I would have come to a Vim screencast? Freaking, it has Vim in the title and he's going on about Emacs. What was wrong with this guy?
And there, I can use the muscle memory that I've had, you know, built up over the years to, you know, do things like delete words and delete the whole line and so on and so forth with, you know, control and some other key.
The thing with the nose is really distracting me. So far, the only thing I'm really liking about this is the sound of the keyboard. He's obviously using one of the nice, like, 2015 MacBook Pros, you know, when the keyboards were still good. But apart from that, yeah, this touching the nose thing is kind of driving me crazy.
So that is one way to use the Vim in the command line, but there is another that I want to talk about, and it's one of those kind of hidden features that you probably would never discover unless something brought it to your attention. And so that's really the point of this screencast, is to let you know there is a binding that you can hit that will effectively drop you into an actual Vim instance so that you can edit the command line that you're currently working on. So in my case, I bound it to Control XX. So let's just say I have one of these commands there again, and I realize that I want to do some more extensive editing. If I hit Control XX, I'm now in Vim. Just say I realize
now I'm Vim in the happy place. Now this is the good shit. This is actually starting to get good now.
But well, I don't want this 2 to be there, and, you know, maybe at the end I actually want 4, right? So I exit Vim, and you'll see that what I wrote before I exited is now on the command line, and I can run it. So that example I gave is pretty trivial, and you probably don't see yourself doing that kind of thing all that often, but there are actually times when you might want to use it. So you can imagine, for example, that just say I have...
Okay, that jazz that I liked at the start, I'm starting to get a bit sick of the jazz. Like, you know, we're not in an elevator, right? We don't need background music. Just talk and show us. I mean, we're finally getting to the good stuff, but maybe next time you could, you know, lower the freaking background music level. Just cut it. It's not necessary. We're at 2.5 minutes in. I don't even know if I can be bothered watching another 2 minutes of this stuff, but let's speed it up just a little bit, huh? Let's go to, say, I reckon this guy is going to be a 1.5 kind of guy. Let's see what that sounds like.
something like, for F in some bunch of files. Oh, I forgot that I set this up. That's not what I really want. For F in star, do, I hit enter and I go echo F, and then, done, and it runs. And at some point I realized, oh my goodness, like I've constructed this like potentially multi-line command and I made a mistake on line 2, and editing this with the cursor keys is painful, right? What if I want to go to the beginning of the line on the left, but I can't. I can go to the end, I can go to the start, but like how do I go to the word Darwin there? I can't really do that. And so this is where dropping into Vim would be really helpful, because I could hit Control X, and now I can use standard Vim bindings, including searching for the word Darwin, and just say I want to make that all caps. I do that with the Vim key binding, and then I exit, and there it is on the command line ready to run. When I hit enter, it will run. Of course, this, I was going to say this won't work because there's no file called that, but this is HFS or APFS in that case insensitive, so it does still work. But the point is, there's a binding you can hit.
Somebody has a dog. I mean, or either this guy has a dog, or he lives with people who have a dog, or I mean, if you live in an apartment, like why are you recording with your doors and windows open? Like, this is amateur hour. If this guy expects to up his subscriber count, like where's the little rectangle that goes subscribe, click click with a little sound and the ding, like I'm just not seeing it. This place is going nowhere. But thankfully, it's almost finished, so let's get it over and done with.
To edit things on the command line. And so Control XX is not actually the standard. I think the standard might be Control XC. But I found that to be hard to remember and hard to type, so let's see here. Is it edit? Here it is. You can see I've got this line here in my ZHRC, which is bind the key Control X to edit the command line. I'll put a link to this file in the show notes, and I'll also dig up a link for the equivalent command in Bash, which is probably pretty similar. But really, all I wanted to do was, call this out as an FYI, as something useful that you can do with Vim on the command line. So I hope that's useful to you. And if you'd like to see more of this kind of content, just hit the subscribe button, and I'll have more for you in the future. Thanks. Bye.
So the music's cool. I like that music. He is doing the thing of the Linus text tips thing of like, let's put my stupid face on the thumbnail and make myself look silly. I don't know if that actually helps or not. Well, for a Vim screencast, surprisingly little Vim in there, but I don't know. I guess based on this, I probably would watch a bit more. And I know this was probably more of a roast video than a React video, but it's hard when you're dealing with this level. It's hard to do anything but be critical. But as you know, well, I mean, I'm going to take a leaf out of this guy's book and beg for you to frickin' subscribe, because apparently that's what you do if you want to see more reaction videos. But yeah, now you've seen this guy and you probably know whether he's worth looking or not. So thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bind key -V is going to put the shell in.
Whoa. Like, first of all, like, what's up with this color scheme? It does look nice, but I can barely read it and the font is tiny. Like, this is amateur shit. This guy's up to screencast number 73 and he still hasn't got his freaking font and color scheme right. That is so on point. Like, a lot of these Reacts videos that I watched, they're kind of like pointless, but this guy, this is some valid criticism. If he could send this to the guy who made the original one, like, it'd make it so much better. Whoa. Like, first of all, like, what's up with this color scheme? It does look nice, but I can barely read it and the font is tiny. Like, this is amateur shit. This guy's up to screencast number 73 and he's